In last week's video, I had a really nice time bumming around Nogales. In this video, I leave Nogales and fly the straight shot to the southwestern corner of Arizona, landing at Yuma.
Now let's go ahead and start the timer. That tank's full, that tank's full, that one's off, this one's on. At around 2 hours, I'll consider switching tanks. Alright, oil pressure's good. Unoiled temp will be coming up here. All the cameras are rolling, so I'm going to forget about those. Trim is set. Audio is recording. We'll do a run up, then we're out of here. I should do a final walk around of the plane like I do in my hotel, just to make sure I didn't forget something on the ground. I got my tripod, I got all that other junk in there. Pretty sure I got everything. The wheel chocks, the ropes. I recall putting all that in the airplane, my camera and gimbal. So, I think I'm good, but that'd be a good habit to get into. I really should do that. Maybe just prior to starting the cameras, or as part of plugging the cameras into the batteries and turning them on. Do a walk around too. Alright, wind's calm, so alright, 122.8. Nogales traffic, less gum 1813 kilo departing runway 22. I'll be doing a straight out down to the border, and then I'll be heading west along the border, all at relatively low altitude, Nogales. Yeah, this is downhill. I was right the other day, because the altimeter just came up like 50 feet. So not a huge difference, but it's a good direction to take off. Nobody on final. And we got this big displaced threshold. I'm not sure why.
In this video, I take off from the beautiful airport near the lovely little border town of Nogales, Arizona, and fly in what you might predict would be a mostly straight line, but there's always some surprising fun to have while flying. I arrive in the funky-shaped southwest corner of Arizona for an uneventful landing at Yuma.
Bunch of cow pens down there. All right, now we're climbing 700 feet a minute or so. And the fence stops here. So yeah, it actually, as heavy as the security is in town there, there's nothing here. Interesting, but maybe some electronics over there, surveillance. But yeah, no more fence at this point. All right, I can see over the top now. I can see mountains beyond this one, so I'm high enough now. Or at least I'm gonna clear it. And I'm still climbing here. Yeah, I'll fly right over this construction. Or maybe put it just off my left wingtip. And maybe pitch down a little bit.
That's the traffic pacer, 49er Alpha Kilo, 10 miles to the south, 7,000 feet eastbound from Benson.
Yeah, these guys work on some steep roads for sure. Yeah, we got a lot more mountains in the distance. There's a big peak sticking up over there. I don't know what it is, but it's just a huge peak, boop, poking straight up on the horizon, above everything else. Yeah, so this is the corner. This is the corner right where the border starts to veer to the north, maybe 10 degrees or something. So, and I think I can see the border maybe 20 miles in the distance there, a dirt line. Yeah, so oil temperature's good, oil pressure's good. All right, so I'm just gonna fly straight towards that line. And that's gotta be the border in the distance there. Yeah, we're just putting along here at 2,300 RPM, 81 knots. That should be like 95 miles an hour, 93 miles an hour maybe. Yeah, I think that's got to be the border way up there, a couple mountain ranges ahead. I just see a dirt stripe. Yeah, oil pressure's good, oil temp's good. Yeah, that's kind of funny that there's that one peak just poking way up in the air there. It's kind of cool. Yeah, it's beautiful here, for sure. Oh, there's a marker on that ridge line there. Oil pressure's good, oil temperature's good. This tank's on, that one's off. But we're using fuel at a reasonable rate from this side here. We're 20 minutes in. So what should be not a super long day. And maybe 3 hours of flying. Yeah, I think I can see the border even beyond this next mountain ridge. So I see the dirt here going up to this rocky ridge, and then I think I see the same thing on the face of the next range over. Yeah, that mountain's pretty awesome there. I don't know what it is. Sticking up there. Yeah, it kind of seems like a waste of money to do something like this out here completely and utterly in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, there won't be a fence, I don't think, on top of that rock. They even did some grading way up on top there, good grief. Yeah, we got a little town here, Sasabe. And we're coming up on here. No clue who lives here or what they would do for a living. Be ranching or something, but I don't see anything around here. Not much going on. Sasabe. And we're 4,600. Oil pressure's good, oil temperature's good. Yeah, nothing on this side, just about nothing. And a nice little town on that side, on the Mexico side. No cars in line there.
This is another of those U.S. Mexico border town pairs with the same name on both sides of the border. The U.S. side has around 50 people, and, as usual, the Mexican side has more, around 1,700.
No cars going either direction.
Cartel human traffickers tend to bring single adults here to Sasabe and families over to Nogales.
Well, let's go ahead and add power and ascend toward 4,500. Maybe we'll get up to 5,000. That should be plenty to get us over this little range here. Yeah, there's another marker right there. So there's the road that I'm sure is the U.S. Border Patrol road. But then there's another something up there paralleling it. Don't know what that is. No, that's on our side too. There's a anti-vehicle fence that goes this way, then it goes, it just jogs to the south there. So both of those roads are on the U.S. side of that anti-vehicle fence. I don't know why there's two of them though. Why there's the two parallel roads. That's weird. Oh, there's Border Patrol down there. Just barely putting along there on the more southerly of the two roads. I don't know why there's two of them. Weird. San Miguel, it's a tiny little town over here. Really spread out and only like a couple dozen structures maybe. And I bet that's gonna be San Miguel. We're about 23, just over 2300 RPM. So we're just putting along here, but we're going just over 100 miles an hour. So we got a little, I think we got a little left quartering tailwind because we got a crosswind for sure. And we're going a hair over 100 at just barely over 2300 RPM. So yeah, we're 3,900 feet right now. So here's the end of this road for the moment, maybe just because this mountain's right here. We're at 4,000 feet here, and there's the road right off my left, along with the anti-vehicle fence to its south, and a bunch of cacti. Bunch of cacti. Yep, and there's the border continuing just on the other side of this hill here. And we got, feels like uplift, but it says we're going down. It says we have a downdraft here. And I thought I was going to have to kind of veer south of the border, but we're not. Get rid of those paper towels. They're blowing in the breeze and it's distracting. Now we're down to 3,500. A little closer to the ground. And there's, I don't know what that is. It's not the typical anti-vehicle fence or the anti-personnel fence, certainly. Not sure what it is. A couple little ponds there, although they're artificial. Oh, and We've got a string of really green bushes there. It's probably a riverbed. Yep, dry riverbed. Well, at the moment it's dry. Yep, some construction vehicles down there. Not sure what they're constructing. Yeah, I like these riverbeds where they're just surrounded by green, a bunch of green. And they're dry, but obviously when it rains, the water must collect there and feeds those trees. That's kind of cool. There's a bunch of them. They're all over. They go for miles. Now let's come down a little more just for fun. These are cool. Really cool. I like them. Those are cool, really beautiful. $2,500. What's the elevation at Yuma? 200. So yeah, basically, the Rockies are north of here, so I think that's why we're at such low altitude here, because we're south of the Rockies, otherwise would be having to fly at a much higher altitude. I got some trucks down here in the middle of nowhere. Don't know what they're doing. Well, nothing at the moment, but yeah, it's a nice temperature outside. And this is interesting. Got a little green patch here. Little low spot, I guess. Where it looks like some grass and a tree there. Oh, and I guess on the chart there, those are just like marshes or something, I guess, huh? Well, I would have guessed it was salt or something. San Simon. Off to the right here, but there's nothing there. I don't know what that's indicating on the chart. Uh-oh, this green area, I guess. We're almost down to 2,000 now, so this is definitely low compared to what I've been flying for much of the trip. Well, more of the first half, I guess, was high altitude. So it looks like that tiny little fence ends here because there's a little mountain range, and then the road goes around to the north side of the, and they're just hills, they're not mountains. Just for fun, I think I'll just follow the road here because the border just really goes up over these mountains here. I'll just take it easy and stay low here. And there's a nice little lake up here, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's another one of these white areas with the blue dots. Yeah, we got a stiff little left quartering tailwind here. We're at 2300, 2350, and we're going like I don't know, about 110 miles an hour over the ground.
Menager's Lake is near the town, and the main thing I discovered about it was some news from back in 2018 when its earthen dam was about to fail due to heavy rains from Hurricane Rosa.
There's a little teeny tiny town, but nothing on the map. They got a cell tower there.
Google Maps calls this town Menager's Dam Village, but a search revealed nothing about it. Looking at Bing, however, I discovered it's maybe more accurately called Ali Chuck. Apparently, it's a Native American village of the Tohono O'odham tribe. There's still essentially no information I could find about it. I did learn, however, that the average home value is $27,500. Not exactly Beverly Hills, but still quite intriguing.
Not sure exactly where the border is here. See if we can get up over this ridge line. Oh yeah, no problemo. So where's the marker? That's what I'm looking for. Oh, there it is. It's way over there. Let's go ahead and keep climbing here. Ooh, they got a bigger range there in the distance. Let's fly near this marker. Then I'm kind of headed toward the border here. I'll need to veer off to the right.
Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument is the only place in the United States where the Sanita and organ pipe cactus grow wild. Many other types of cacti and other desert flora native to the Yuma Desert section of the Sonoran Desert region also grow in the park.
Oh, there's the border wall. Very, very, very clear there. There's the marker.
A park ranger, Chris Egel, was shot and killed by a drug smuggler in 2002. Considered the most dangerous national park in the United States, much of it was closed in 2003 due to a steady flow of immigrants and drug runners from Mexico. The park reopened the backcountry after surveillance towers, vehicle barriers, and pedestrian fences were installed along the border.
This is beautiful here.
Sections of larger barriers have begun to be installed along the park's southern border. The National Park Service issued a report in 2019 stating that the barrier wall threatens archaeological artifacts representing 16,000 years of human history. This is some of the complexities surrounding the border and immigration in the United States that I discuss elsewhere in this video.
Got a couple of vehicles down there, a silver car and a Border Patrol pickup. And we got all the fancy lights now. We got a lighted street here, basically.
Located within Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, Lukeville is named after Medal of Honor recipient, Arizona native, and World War I aviator Frank Luke. It has a population of around 40 people. There's a post office and duty-free shop, as it's a stopover for buses headed to Phoenix and Tucson. As with many of the U.S. Mexico border city pairs, the city on the Mexico side, Sonoita in this case, is much larger. Sonoita has around 13,000 residents at the last census. For a while, the border crossing was busy with imports and exports, but a change to the customs laws in Mexico put the kibosh on that. Sonoita is well known as an illegal immigrant crossing point to the U.S. Those eagle-eyed among you might be just as irritated as I was during editing. There was a left crosswind here. I kept banking to the left rather than just pointing my nose to the south and holding that heading in a crab to compensate for that crosswind. I didn't notice it at the time, but it definitely bugged me while I was editing the footage. Not the best flying. Although I know getting into politics in a YouTube video can be dangerous, I just can't help myself. I'm going to take a few minutes and give my thoughts not only about U.S Mexico border politics, but about the broader immigration issue in the U.S. I've commented off and on about the border as I've flown along it in this series, and just wanted to clarify my thoughts, and the only intelligent way to express those thoughts is also to address the broader issue of immigration. If you don't want to listen, I don't blame you. Just mute your audio, and I'll show a text message on screen when I'm done. First, let me tell you where I'm coming from. I'm a staunch pro-Constitution, pro-limited government conservative/libertarian. I generally think Democrats want anyone and everyone just coming into the country with no vetting, with the assumption that they'll vote Democrat. They just say, we need comprehensive immigration reform. But that's just really what politicians say when they want your vote, but don't actually have an intelligent opinion about how to solve problems. I'd also like to think that Republicans would give intelligent answers when asked about immigration and would have a good plan for solving serious problems, but that's generally not the case either. For example, Trump chanted, "I'll build a big beautiful wall," and his constituents just cheered. That's not intelligent, not only because the U.S Mexico border is much more complex than that, but because there are many more things that need to come into play when talking about immigration into our country. Let's start by talking about the border and how to secure it. My assumption is that we want to secure our borders and control who comes into our country. First, it's not intelligent to simply say, let's build a wall along the entire U.S Mexico border. Not only would it scar beautiful areas like Big Bend National Park, but stretches like that are incredibly rugged and form quite a formidable natural barrier. Building a wall there would be incredibly expensive and would offer a terrible return on investment, considering the difficulty of crossing there to begin with. Other areas are also extremely remote and, particularly in the summer, are not easy to cross and live to tell about it. In other words, I don't think it's smart to spend $1 million to prevent one person from crossing the border. I realize there's some risk involved in that approach, but it's the practical one. There are places where crossing is easier. These areas should be bolstered, walls extended, and manpower increased. In more remote areas, add electronic and aerial surveillance. National Guard could also be used to bolster Border Patrol agents. If you've noticed my hemming and hawing as I've flown along the border, these are some of the things I've been thinking about. I'd also be in favor of deporting any illegal aliens who are found in the day-to-day work of law enforcement. Rounding them all up would be impractical and cost prohibitive, so I wouldn't be in favor of that. Any who are sent home should have the opportunity to return legally, assuming they were decent citizens while here. Even immigrants who came here legally don't want people coming here by skipping the application, interviews, and fees that they themselves had to go through. Next, people all over the world should know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that in the event they make it over the border, they'll be caught, immediately put on a plane, and delivered back to their country of origin. They would have wasted their time and possibly their life savings. This knowledge would stop many from even trying. The fair tax, apart from being the single best thing that could happen to the country, would also remove a small incentive for people to come here to work illegally, as they couldn't get paid under the table. They'd pay tax on food, clothes, and any other new items they purchase. Next, eliminate all federal social programs, which would be in accordance with the enumerated powers in the U.S. Constitution anyway. This would remove other incentives for them to come here. States like California should also eliminate their handouts to illegals, but I'm under no illusions that that'll happen anytime soon. In addition to being unconstitutional, the so-called war on drugs has been a horrendous failure. The focus should be on helping addicts get off of drugs and doing whatever can be done to prevent addiction in the first place. It's a matter of supply and demand. If there's no demand, then the suppliers will be out of business. Although I don't think drugs are good, they are a state-level issue. I don't think this is a simple or easy issue, but I think that should be the goal. I understand that cartels do other things like human trafficking, and that still need to be dealt with. And so, these are my ideas regarding the United States and immigration. It's a complex issue, but with some thought, and by approaching it from multiple angles, I think it could easily be brought mostly under control. Maybe this is what politicians mean when they say, we need comprehensive immigration reform, although I doubt it. If you disagree with any of my thoughts on immigration, or want to offer your own thoughts on what could be done, feel free to leave a comment. At this point, the cameras are dropping like flies. When I land, the only cameras left standing are the forward-facing, right-facing, and cockpit camera. I flew along the Colorado River earlier in this trip, and here it is again. But here, it's just dust. Its dry mouth is only another 50 miles south of here, where it meets the Gulf of Mexico. It began around 1,400 miles upstream from this point, way up in the central Rocky Mountains in Grand Lake, Colorado. Before irrigation ran the river dry by this point, steamships actually used to travel up the river all the way from the Gulf of Mexico. This is a lot like the border way back when I started the U.S Mexico border segment in East Texas. The fence here doesn't define the border, it's just a convenient place to put it. The Colorado River defines the border, and it's up to more than a mile off to my left here, to the west. Its distance from the fence varies as the river winds.
Tower Sky 20401, we're in the run-up area, ready for takeoff. Sky 20401, Yuma Tower, continue taxiing via Zulu 3. Runway 17 at Zulu 3, line up and wait. Zulu 3, line up and wait, 40. Sky 401, runway 17 at Zulu 3. Wind 200 at 4, clear for takeoff. 17 at Zulu 3, clear for takeoff, 40.
Marine Corps Air Station, Yuma information, Whiskey 1710 Zulu. Weather, better than 5005. Wind 200 at 5. Temperature 29er. Altimeter 29er 86. Precision approach runway 21 right. Visual approach runway 17. Bird warning condition green. Pressure altitude 280. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Whiskey.
Just a few miles upstream, it appears the Colorado River hasn't been totally depleted. In hindsight, maybe I should have flown directly along the river, but at the time, I didn't realize it was off to the west.
That's probably the airport right there. Yuma Tower, Luscombe 1813 Kilo, 9 miles to the north with Whiskey.
Luscombe 1813 Kilo, Yuma Tower, make straight in, runway 17, report 2 mile final.
Luscombe 13 Kilo, straight in, 17, report 2 mile final.
According to the Guinness Book of World Records, Yuma is the sunniest city on Earth, with sun and warm weather at least 91% of the year. It also grows 175 types of crops, the largest of which is lettuce. In fact, Yuma County produces 90% of all leafy vegetables in the United States. Much of the population around Yuma is from Marine Corps Air Station Yuma, the U.S. Army Yuma Proving Ground, Yuma County, and the United States Border Patrol. What would we do without all the government jobs? While writing that last sentence, it made me wonder. As of 2020, there were around 20 million people working for the federal and state governments in the United States. That doesn't include civilian employees of the various governments in the U.S. The U.S. Marines who are based at the airport here fly Harriers and the B variant, as you might guess, of the F-35. The federal government created the airport in 1928, and a wide variety of planes have used it over the years, including the T-6, B-26 Marauder, F-86 Sabres, T-33s, and F-4 Phantoms.
Looks like...
Come 13 Kilo, runway 17, wind variable at 4, clear to land.
Luscombe 13 Kilo, cleared to land, 17. And that's 4 miles, so he's paying attention to me. And that's got to be it over there. Yeah. So let us there's some taxiways off to the right. Yeah, that's gonna be 17 way over there. Yeah, so I'm still, it's quite a bit over further to the east than I was thinking it was. I see the 17 there. Yeah, there's 17. Not too bad.
Luscombe 13 Kilo, are you going to Menager?
Yes, sir.
Luscombe 13 Kilo, turn right next taxiway, contact ground point 901 off. Good day.
Thanks for your help, ground point 9. So, Alrighty. Guy out here doing donuts. Alright. So that'd be 121. Yeah, that guy's doing donuts and doesn't know what he's doing. Yuma ground, Luscombe 1813 kilo, just exited 17 at Zulu, and I'm headed to Millionaire.
Luscombe 13 kilo, you still up tower.
It is fucking embarrassing!
Taxi straight ahead to main air.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes, sir. Contact ground point 9.
Yuma ground, Luscombe 1813 kilo at Zulu off 17, taxiing to Millionaire.
Number 1813 kilo, Yuma ground, taxi to Millionaire via Zulu 3.
Zulu 3, Luscombe 13 kilo. So is that Zulu 2? This must be Zulu 3. Crap, that's the second time I've done that. Damn it. Alright. Need to turn my brain on.
Ground also 1035, ground up is complete, please advise.
Oxford 7735, Roger, hold your position, contact tower 119.3.
Holding this position and contacting tower 119.3.
So Zulu 3, and it says general aviation this way. That Millionaire. Looks like it. Alright, there's no Humvees. There are guys with machine guns. And they're supposed to be self-serve. All right.
Come back next week when I land right along the U.S. Mexico border at the little runway in Jacumba, California.